Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this DIY, I'll be using 4 of these Dollar Tree frames to create a beautiful piece of wall decor. To get started, you need to disassemble all 4 frames. And I'm only going to show you how to take one apart. Pull this off. Take this off and try not to damage it. Remove the glass and clean it. Now as you can see, this is gray and I want to paint it silver. So what I did was use some Rust-Oleum metallic silver paint and spray painted it silver. Here's what it looks like after you paint it silver. Now the silver is really pretty, but I wanted to make it a little bit more decorative. So I decided to add some silver leaf to it. Here I have some metal leaf adhesive and a paintbrush. So what I'm going to do is just dip it inside the adhesive and just randomly brush strokes onto the frame. I'm almost doing it like in stripes. So now I'm just going to pull this aside and let the adhesive set up for about 30 minutes. Okay, next I have this mat. And you guys have seen me use this mat before in a previous DIY. But the mat I used before was silver. This one is gold. It's just really, really pretty. Alright, so the thing that I want to do with this is cut a piece to fit inside my frame. So I'm going to use the back piece and center it as best as I can. Now if you want to, you can take a marker and go around this piece and then cut it. But I'm just going to go ahead and use my scissors, hold this down and cut. Here's the piece that I'll be inserting into the frame. And I'm sure I'm going to have to trim it just around the edges before it fits perfectly. Okay. I'm going to cover the back panel with this paper. And I found this at Amazon and I'll link it below. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And as you can see, from one side it's almost a perfect fit. So I'm just going to cut off this excess here. And I'm going to pull this piece back, the white piece. Okay, so I'm just going to fold this back. Lay this right on top. I want the black to be on the back. Now once I flip it over, I can see that it's starting to wrinkle with this top. Smooth it out. Okay, and this is what you have. So as you can see, I have all this excess. So I'm just going to cut that away. Okay, so you want to make sure it has really good contact to the back piece. Okay, so now we'll remove the top piece. There's a clear film over the top to keep this from getting scratched up. So I'm just going to use my utility knife to try and separate it. And put this aside. Try not to let it get dirty. I'm still waiting for the silver leaf adhesive to get tacky. So I'm going to leave that there for now and use this extra frame to see if my mat fits. Just like I thought, I need to trim this a little bit more. So I'm going to come on this side and cut some off. And now let's try it again. Okay, let's try it with the glass. Okay, it's still a little long. And that's what we have so far. hold tight. I have another option for you. You can also use this mat, and they sell this at Walmart as well. As you can see, it's long enough to where you have enough for this rectangle. And here's what it looks like after you cut it. And here's what it looks like inside the frame. Okay, moving back to our frame. Most of the silver leaf is tacky. There's a few drops here and there that still needs to dry. I'll leave those last. But here are some imitation silver leaf flakes that I'll be using. And you can find these at Amazon, and I'll link them below. So what I'm going to do is just pull some out. Now this gets a little messy. So what I want to do is just take like pieces of it and put it wherever I put the adhesive. Now you don't have to use a brush. You can actually use your fingers and just start putting it down. Now of course you can skip the step. I'm just doing it because I wanted to add more interest to the frame. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and come back. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. Here's my glass, and I've already cleaned it. So I'm just going to slide it right back in place. Here's my mat. Now we take this piece and insert it. And now this is what we have. Isn't it pretty? So what we're going to do is repeat this 3 more times to have 4 in total. Now we have 4. Okay, so now we want to flip this over and put hot glue on the back. And you want to do that to all 4 pieces. I'll go off camera and do the other 3 pieces and then come back. Okay, I'm done adding hot glue to all 4 pieces. So now what I want to do is go ahead and put this piece together. And one thing I want to mention is when I placed my mat inside, I wanted to make sure that they all were placed the same way. You can see this piece down here. It's like that on that one. They all resemble. Okay? So to put this piece together, I'm going to go just like this. This is how my 4 pieces will go together. So I have some Gorilla Glue. It had a leak, so I put it inside a rubber glove. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here. Now, because these are Dollar Tree products, this is not lining up perfectly at all. So I would advise you before you glue these together to just move them around and get the best fit possible. Okay? So now because these are not laying down perfectly, I'm going to go ahead and add some beads to them to fill in the gap and to make a better connection between the pieces. And it also makes it more decorative. So I'm going to take some more of my Gorilla Glue and just put it down right between the pieces. And maybe a little bit of hot glue. Okay, I'm done adding beads to all 4 sides. Now I'll let this sit for a few hours, then come back and address the center. Okay guys, I'm back, and I went ahead and flipped this over and also slid a piece of foam board underneath that I picked up from Dollar Tree. So what I did was tore off the top layer of the foam board. Now I have an ink pen, and I'm going to use it to trace out this square. So I'm going to cut this square out and then cut out an additional square and glue the two pieces together. I also have some of these large sticks. I'm going to use these to reinforce the back of my wall art by gluing them over the two connecting pieces. This is going to give it more strength. So again, I'm going to use my Gorilla Glue along with some hot glue to glue these down. Now I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce these with more hot glue. Just like that. So I'm going to do the rest and come back. I'm done putting the additional pieces on. I reinforced them with hot glue. I'm going to go ahead and just glue some sticks across here. Okay, these sticks are glued down pretty good. So now I'm going to glue these two hooks onto it so that I can hang it on the wall. So what I'm going to do is just glue these right on top. Again, I'm going to take my Gorilla Glue along with some hot glue and glue these down. Then I'm going to take some hot glue and put it just underneath there. I put the glue right underneath these humps. And now a little bit more glue on top. So now I'm going to let this sit up for a few hours, and then I'll come back and address the centerpiece. But meanwhile, off camera, I'm going to go ahead and cut two squares from this foam board. I removed the paper from both sides of the foam board, and now I'll use some hot glue to glue it down. I pulled the paper off both sides of this piece of foam board as well. I have another piece of the back board. Now I'll cut a piece of the back board to match the foam board. Okay, that fits perfect. Here I hot glue down the second piece of foam board. Now I'll put the mirror finish paper on top of this piece. Now cut off the excess. And now we have this. So now I'm going to take one more mat and figure out where I want to cut my piece from. I think I like the flower right here. I want to put it right in the center. So I'm going to cut my flower from here. Now I'll cover the back of my placemat with my glue. And so now I'm going to take more of my beads and glue them down. Okay, so now I'm completely done. So I'm going to allow this to dry for a few hours. Come back and clean up all the glue webs. Hang it on the wall and let you guys see what it looks like. And here's my beautiful piece of wall art made from Dollar Tree frames and some placemats. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Not only that, it's very sturdy, so it's definitely built to last. As you can see, I have it displayed near a previous DIY. But I'd love to see a display of 3 of them, so in the future, I might make 2 more. Okay everyone, this completes my DIY. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay everyone, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.